Hello everyone, welcome back, although maybe you should be saying that to me, because I am finally back in England after my, well, 2.5 weeks, I think I was away, 2.5 weeks stay in the United States of America. And yeah, no, it feels good to be back. It is extremely bloody cold. I tell you what, a lot colder than what it was in the south of America. A lot colder. Yeah, so the weather in the south was absolutely beautiful. Only maybe twice can I remember, maybe a drizzle or rain. Nothing too heavy, nothing too stormy. If anything, the worst day of weather was actually the day that we flew across, because the wind and there was like a storm going on. Sort of as we were leaving Chicago to get to Memphis, there was a storm around that area, and the inter flight in America, Chicago to Memphis, on this tiny diddy little plane, something you'd see out of Jurassic Park or something like that, was not a pleasant experience. I wouldn't say I'm a confident flyer, but I wouldn't say that I'm a terrified. It just doesn't bother me really. It's one of those things, I just, get on with it. I can't sleep during planes, or during flights, during planes. That doesn't technically, grammarly make any sense. But yeah, I can't actually sleep, so that just kind of takes that away from it. I've got nothing to distract myself in terms of that, because it's a long old flight. And I do wish I'd managed to maybe get some shut-eye, but hey-ho, I had my music. Downloaded some things to watch, and it was all gravy. It was just a shame that second, like I say, that inter-flight was terrifying. The storm on this tiny plane, it was all over the place, but fair play. Got there, and once I was there, weather was absolutely perfect. Hot. I mean, I say hot, like it's not summer over there, obviously, but Southern America, the sun was shining. It was a lot hotter than obviously what it is here. As you can see, thermal gloves. I'm actually wearing winter gear. I've then just got a hoodie on over the top of it. That's how cold I have decided I am today. So this is my first time back out on the bike. I wasn't using it for the half a week before I went to America, simply because I used the car for work, so there's no, I didn't have anything else to do. There wasn't any rides. I maybe should have done a video just before I went, but you know what I'm like. And yeah, finally got back out on it. Absolutely freezing. Bike took actually, to be fair, started actually quite well. First time, just obviously that bit where you turn it on, the fuel pump goes absolutely crazy, because it's like, oh, you do still exist. Oh, cheers mate. Where you been? I don't put mine away for the winter, so she does still expect a good ride every now and then. So things that I got up to, well, like I say, being in the south, we were traditionally, we were mainly staying in this small little place called Tupelo. For any Elvis Presley fans, they'll know that that's actually where Elvis Presley was born. So yeah, got to visit the birthplace of Elvis Presley, which was very nice, very sentimental, very educational actually. A lot of good people who run that place, keep it going. Make sure it's all maintained and whatnot, and yeah, just an overall good experience for that. Got to go to a buffalo farm, which was surprisingly much more filled than I thought it was going to be. They had everything as well, like not just buffalo, but giraffes. And when you think like, okay, maybe it's a zoo, and maybe I should have expected that. Maybe that's just the Rhythmic Biker being a bit silly, but I don't know. For me, when I heard, because originally it's like Buffalo Park, okay, so it's a Buffalo Park and zoo. I don't know. I just wasn't expecting it. Still warm enough for the giraffes to be out. They were telling me something about how the giraffes go in or something like that when it gets too cold, but it was still warm enough. So yeah, take from that sort of the temperature what it was. I'm going to put it in neutral because I don't want to sit here with my clutch engaged all day. Went out in Memphis on Beale Street, quite a famous street in Memphis, sort of home of, if you will, blues music. I don't know why I'm struggling to talk today. Not sure what's wrong with me, but yeah, home of the blues, and that was a great night out. Loads of bars, loads of clubs. They don't exactly have what we have over here, like nightclubs, if you will. It is more sort of bar culture, live music everywhere you go. But it was definitely a great night out. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. We also went to Nashville, and again, it's the similar thing. Not so much blues, more sort of country music in that sort of neck of the woods, if you will. And it was the same thing. The bars were absolutely incredible. Really, really culture filling, filled with live music. Everywhere you go is live music. And I'll tell you what, for like some small time bands, if you will, small time artists, maybe just trying to get somewhere. I think it's bloody brilliant, because they actually do engage sort of bands from the local community, and give them this chance to perform, get their music out there a little bit, and see what they can do. Whereas over here, I just don't think we have anything like that, and I was probably meant to turn right that time, because now what I've done is I've just added a little bit of time on, which and also I can't apparently turn into a junction anymore. I've become a BMW driver or something. No offense to you there, pal. But yeah, no, like, over here we should maybe do a bit more to help out our local bands. I know if maybe you're from if you're from a village, they might have the village pub, and they'll have some local teenagers who have put together a band, or sometimes even what I like to call a bit of a dad's band. When you get the middle-aged men who have decided, it's time to get out the guitar, the drums, the bass, maybe the electric keyboard or whatever, or maybe not the electric keyboard, because the keyboard would be electric, because it'd be plugged in. Well done, TheRhythmicBiker, 10 out of 10 for that one. And yeah, just support, give everyone a chance. I'm still indicating. While also in Nashville, I got to go to the Country Hall of Fame Museum, which was beautiful. Absolutely love a bit of country music, bit of brand new Brad Paisley, and bit of old-fashioned Johnny Cash, Rascal Flatts. I can never say his name. Kenny Chase, love a bit of that. So there was even Taylor Swift in there, who I obviously always forget had a sort of blast in the country scene when she was first starting out. But the museum also had her educational centre, which I don't know, I just found it is quite touching, quite nice, to be honest. Give these kids a bit of an opportunity into the music scene that maybe they don't get anymore. But the whole museum was fantastic. Got to learn so much, and my main one's Johnny Cash. Big Johnny Cash fan. I do play guitar, and Johnny Cash is what got me into playing guitar. That when I was young and I heard that song "Hurt," I was all over. I wanted to play it straight away, and yeah, that's how I got into it. And yeah, I got to learn a lot about him. There was actually a Johnny Cash sort of, if you will, bar and restaurant, which I also got to go to, and that was just heaven. It's one of those things. It's actually hard to describe it to someone else. It's because of how much it obviously means to you. It's then always hard to put into words. For someone else to appreciate that same level of sort of sentimental value, if that's maybe the right way I'm phrasing it, or maybe I'm just talking absolute nonsense. You decide. We went to Alabama and did a couple nights stay in a cabin in the middle of the mountains, absolutely in the middle of nowhere, really away from civilization and stuff like that. It was a fantastic time. You do sometimes forget you do have to get away from all of this stuff, just because eventually it can drive you mad. I mean, I'm a city boy. I've always been a city boy. Absolutely got no countryside in me whatsoever, but I do appreciate the importance of getting away every now and then. And it was just gorgeous. You could see the wildlife running around. Outside there was this lovely view of the mountains. Went for a drive around there, and yeah, just got to experience these beautiful roads. I'd have loved to have gone on the bike or a bike and properly torn across those, because Yeah, I can imagine that is a lot of fun. Quite a trek to get to, I imagine, if you live anywhere close. So it's one of those. If you do it, you are committed to the cause, shall we say? Oh, Christmas trees. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love Christmas, and I'm actually an idiot because that's not a Christmas tree. It's just the building decorated with Christmas decks. God, I don't know what's wrong with me today, guys. I'm sorry, it's my return. It's the return of the Rhythmic Biker, and I'm bottling it, really, and I've cracked under the pressure, and I don't know what to do. So I'm hoping the more I upload, the better this will get. I'm just going to say that Southern hospitality, I mean, it is second to none. Maybe it's just like, for them, I assume it's the norm, but for me, being there for the first ever time, you know, experiencing their culture and everything, we obviously ate out a lot. You know, I feel like I've put on about a stone. Just absolutely gorgeous food. You know, southern fried chicken from actually the south of America. I mean, that's gorgeous. They love their chicken. I'm obsessed with what they call biscuits. Trying to explain what like a British biscuit is to these people was quite quite difficult. They didn't understand that ours were quite crunchy. Well, I mean, they understood it. I just don't think they agreed with it. And do you know what? I mean, I love a biscuit, and I'm talking about an English one. You know, a cup of tea, custard cream, bourbon, digestive, whatever, you name it. You know, I'm all over it. Big biscuit eater. But in terms of their biscuits, they have like breakfast biscuits, which effectively are they're like our bread rolls, but they're obviously, you know, American sweet. Not too sweet, like it's not overpowering. Hell, some of them are even quite salty, but they are beautiful. That's sort of custom, you know, that goes with everything pretty much. You get that. I don't drink alcohol, so for me, like going into any place, if I'm ordering a soft drink, most places won't even charge me for it. They'll think that I'm the DD, the designated driver. Other places, if they do, they'll charge you the first one. And then they've got this like policy where your drink can never get empty. Do you know what I mean? Like before you've even finished your drink, they've come with a new one and they've taken your old one away, even if you didn't ask for it. And that was everywhere we went, you know, in Southern America. It was just, they really do take like customer service quite seriously, and I guess that is mainly because probably all the waiters and waitresses are probably on absolutely no money whatsoever and rely heavily on tips, which is obviously a big part of the American culture. You have to tip them, otherwise it's not frowned upon. So obviously everywhere we went, you know, you had a nice bit of a tip, especially if they're on the ball. Like everywhere we went was on the ball. You know, we went seafood restaurants, Chinese restaurants, chicken shop, yeah, everything. So burger bars, steak houses, everywhere was on it, and it was absolutely brilliant. The diners are gorgeous as well. The fact they're coming over all the time with coffee and drinks and water, it's all fantastic. And yeah, Southern hospitality, we could definitely learn a thing or two, because I was, you know, when you get talking to the locals and you're trying to sort of say, you know, if you came to England, sort of, let's say, I don't know, maybe the north of England, maybe the hospitality there is a bit nicer. I've always felt a bit more looked after in the north of England. Like I'm talking, if you go to like a roadside cafe, maybe, you know, like a typical biker hut, or I don't know. I've always felt, not that the ones down here in the south are not particularly nice, but I've always felt the norther, if that's a word. The more north, that's the way. The more north you go up of England, the not traditionally the more polite, but just the more welcoming that people are. But maybe that's my experience. You know, maybe, well, I mean, it is my experience, but maybe that's just my take of it. Maybe I've just been up north on lucky days. I don't know. I'm sure someone's about to comment, going, "Oh, what are you talking about? The north of England?" Blah, 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 blah. And it's the opposite in America. Like they were saying, in the north of America, like the more you go up, you know, when you go to the popular places, Chicago, California, Los Angeles, all of that, New York, they said obviously it's nice, you know, they're not going to badmouth America, but they did sort of say, you know, it's not like down here. The hospitality isn't the same. The sort of, if you will, code of conduct, if you will, in restaurants and things like that is not the same. Just because I suppose it doesn't have to be. but it was definitely still fantastic to get across and learn as much as I could about it. We went on many nights out. You know, we went out to many bars, got to talk to loads of locals, and yeah, just fantastic from pretty much start to finish. And that was nice of you. And that sounded really sarcastic. That was nice of you. It really actually was quite nice of him. I was trying to be genuine, but apparently I'm not very good at that today. And yeah, it was just absolutely fantastic. I would recommend, you know, if you're thinking of going on holiday anytime soon, Southern America. You know, we were in Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, and absolutely incredible. I will, you know, bit of slight racism in Alabama, which you know, obviously I don't like. We don't tolerate it here, you know, because it's common sense not to be racist. But there were still a few areas of Alabama that were very much stereotypical, if you will. But you know, if you ignore it, or, you know, obviously don't get involved in it, you know, I'd hope, if you are travelling from England, I'd have assumed you'd have been, you know, brought up a lot better. And it's like Dodgems. And yeah, you'll be absolutely fine. Keep yourself to yourself, and no one should really do anything. I don't know, I got the vibe in certain places, maybe it was just all talk, you know what I mean, like people who dislike someone for absolutely no good reason, but they'll never do anything. Well, you hope they wouldn't anyway. But that's bad mouthing Alabama too much. I like I say, met some lovely people in Alabama, and it doesn't speak for all of them, so never let, there's a bug in my, oh no, it's just dead. Never let the minority speak for the majority, because, well, where would we be if we allowed that to happen? Well, I think whatever I decide to do here, I'm going to be fucked. Unless I do it this way. No, my key's turned now. Fuck it. Tell you what, I fucking love this lock, but I hate it at the same time. It's the most difficult lock. Or maybe I just you know what, actually, I'm blaming. A good worksman never blames his tools. It's just me continuously being an idiot today. You know, I'm moaning about it, even though I've parked literally right up against the wall. Oh, Lord. So yeah, pretty much to summarise, because yeah, I don't know, apparently that's what I do now. Yeah, it was a great trip. It was a great time. Highly would recommend visiting Southern America if you ever get the chance. You will not regret it. In terms of looking forward, happy to be back. As you can see, I'm absolutely having a whale of a time. I'm going to get through that. Just, there we go. Yep, absolutely having a whale of a time. It's freezing cold. Traffic here is absolutely insane, as always. I mean, really, what's not to love? Do you know what I mean? Like, you can just tell I've missed every single second of this, can't you? Sarcasm aside, and thinking that I'm funny, yes, I am back, and so the videos will be returning. I'm sure you have absolutely missed every single second of it. And yeah, but thank you so much for watching this one. If you're an uploader yourself, I do apologise. I just haven't yet had a chance to catch up on my subscriptions, so I probably haven't watched any of your recent videos. And I'm sorry about that, because that's what we're all about here, aren't we? We all support one another and, you know, share our content, plug it out there, tell each other how absolutely amazing we are, you know. Oh, Uncle Red, you're the best motovlogger in the world. Oh, Epic Adam, you're the best motovlogger in the world. Oh, Hippodrones, you're the best motovlogger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we all do it. don't fire shots. We all do it. But you're all fantastic, and yeah, I'll catch up. Need to watch loads of videos, got hours of content to watch, which is absolutely fantastic. That will be my Saturday night all there, all the entertainment provided by pretty much most of you guys who watch this. So that's enough of me rambling. Thank you all once again, and yes, see you all next time. Cheers, guys.